Enoch Burke has been returned to Mountjoy prison. There was a review of his case today in the High Court carried out by Mr. Justice Mark Sanfy, and Mr. Burke, Enoch Burke, indicated that he was not prepared to stay away from Wilson's Hospital School. The judge had made clear that he would release him if Mr. Burke gave an undertaking to the court that he would stay away from the school, but he wasn't prepared to do this. Mr. Burke's position was he was arguing or making an application basically to have the original order for contempt of court made by Mr. Justice Alexander Owens set aside. But the problem for the High Court judge is that it would be very unusual for one High Court judge to set aside the order of another High Court judge. In other words, the normal course of events, if you're not happy with a High Court decision, is to go to the Court of Appeal. That did not happen in this case. However, the judge in this case, Mr. Justice Mark Sanfy, said he wasn't prepared to shut out Mr. Burke completely and would consider that question the next day. But because the legal team for the school, Rosemary Mallon BL, had no notice of Mr. Burke's application, the judge put the case back for, I think, later this month in order to give the school's council an opportunity to have a look at the application and prepare their position. So the judge hasn't ruled it out entirely, but for now he has sent Mr. Burke back to Mountjoy prison. School's counsel, Rosemary Mallon, made clear as well that because the school was closed and because the state exams were due to finish in a couple of weeks, they had no difficulty if the court made an order for Mr. Burke to be released without purging his contempt. However, the judge said that he wasn't concerned so much with the school's position or whether the school was open or closed. He was concerned with court orders being adhered to, and that was his position. So, for that reason, he felt he had no obligation but to return Mr. Burke to school, or return Mr. Burke rather, to Mountjoy prison, because he wasn't prepared to give an undertaking to stay away from the school. Mr. Burke is arguing that the original decision of Mr. Justice Alexander Owens is flawed, and he's looking to have that order set aside. And that order underpins the imprisonment of Mr. Burke for contempt in Mountjoy prison. Mr. Burke's position is that that order should never have been granted and was a breach of his constitutional rights and so on. So that is his argument. As I say, this particular judge has the difficulty because Mr. Burke is asking for one High Court judge to set aside the order of another High Court judge, and that will be most unusual. But he is, as I say, not shutting out the possibility completely, and he is given the school's legal team the opportunity to make a submission then the next day, and it will be heard within a matter of weeks, I think. I think it's later this month. The judge noted the school's position regarding the holidays, but said that the court's position remains that court orders need to be obeyed. So this is to come back before the court again within a matter of weeks, but yeah, later this month it's going to return. But the difficulty for Mr. Burke will be that he's asking one High Court judge to set aside the decision or order of another High Court judge, and if that was to happen, it would be very, very unusual. The usual procedure would be to appeal the decision of the High Court to the Court of Appeal. That is the story. Enoch Burke going back to Mountjoy prison.